Hey guys, so finally got a fairly nice day here. It's like 40-ish, so I'm going to start taking apart my car and see if I can start taking the engine out of it. Alright, right now you can see it's fairly complete. I did start to put it back together thinking I was going to make it run, but that's not the case now. I'm just going to start yanking it out. My motor should be ready soon, so, or the new one should be ready soon, so I'm not going to try and bother fixing this. You can see it's covered in snow and loveliness. Okay guys, so you can see I've made a little bit of progress. I've got the jack shafts out. Most of the accessories are out. Gonna start working on the headers, getting the headers off next. Now I've actually got access to get at them now. I might take the timing chain cover and stuff off, but I don't think I really need you to pull the motor, so I could drop the lower radiator hose. The radiator's already drained. I drained that over the summer when I was working on the water pump and stuff, and what have you. AC compressor was already, or the AC system was actually already bleeded out. There was nothing in it, so we're good there. And just drained a little oil out of the power steering pump, and you know, we should be good to yank this motor in the next few weekends, hopefully if the weather cooperates. So I have unbolted the driver's side header all the way. It's just sitting there. It is disconnected from the head. Now, because I have a lot of snow over here, I'm not going to be able to stand between this part of the car, so I'm going to have to do it from the front. It ought to be challenging. The AC line is actually in the way. So the way you take the AC line off is basically the same way you do the fuel line connectors. You have used the AC fuel line tool you can pick up from the parts store. It's like $5.99. It's real cheap. And you find the right size, you slip it in there underneath the spring, and you pull it all apart. So I've made quite a bit of progress today. I've got the jack shafts off. All the bolts are out of the exhaust headers. My new one should be here soon. I got both AC lines off. There are two that run along this side of the car, and I got both of those off. I got the upper intake manifold off. I'm going to take off the fuel rail and see if I can strip off the wiring harness. And maybe get the master cylinder out today, because that's in my way. The goal is to take everything out of this engine bay, sandblast it, pour 15 it and paint it, and keep it looking nice. And maybe if I'm lucky, get the radiator out, but I don't think so. That'll probably be maybe tomorrow's project or next week's project. We'll see how far I get today. But you can see this is what's left of the motor. The oil pump is right here somewhere in this piece, and back here is the timing chain cover. Oh, excuse me, right here is the timing chain cover, and underneath it is the timing chain. And you can see I definitely did pull the headers off. I've got to cut the bolts or break them loose and then take the rest of the exhaust off where it meets the Y pipe, because I'm going to replace the Y pipe. So I got quite a bit more work to go, but the motor's certainly moving along quite nicely to the point where I could pull it. If I had another day or so of good weather, I could certainly get this and the transmission out. You can see I have some rust starting, but nothing major. Definitely need to replace all the brake lines. You can see they're starting to rust, and I gotta drain the transmission and pull the transmission lines off and what have you. And the intake manifold partially apart. Stripped all the air cleaner box and everything out of it. AC lines, AC condenser, and radiator are both out. Gonna work on this cross member here in the front, a radiator support. It looks like it's been whacked and it's kind of rusty, so I'll have to straighten that out. Not too much more left. I started to cut the bolt for the header, but the Dremel broke, so back to the drawing board on that one. And hopefully the next nice day I'll finish getting ready to take it out. I'll take the motor out.